In today's video, we're going to be replacing this bathroom exhaust fan. The issue we're having is when the power is applied to the exhaust fan, there's a smell of burning. And if you look here, you can see there's a little bit of charring right here. This is because even though the exhaust isn't running, what happens is the motor gets hot. What most people don't realize, especially in regards to exhaust fans, is exhaust fans are one of the leading issues regarding fires that are started in homes. To remove the exhaust fan, we're going to have to cut open the drywall. This will just give us access so that we can easily remove the old assembly and install the new one. So here I made my marks along the drywall. And if you see here, I was able to push one side, so I can see here that this is the side where it's connected to the stud. Now we're going to disconnect our power supply. I am going to use my utility knife to score along the mark as best as I can. The reason I prefer to use my utility knife and my hammer is because obviously you can see here we do have electrical wires and we also have our vent coming down. I don't want to cut any of that, so I'd rather just use my utility knife and then use my hammer to knock everything out. Right now we're going to make sure that we remove power to our exhaust supply coming from the breaker. I did remove the 120 volt supply from the circuit breaker to my exhaust. Now we're going to remove our case and disconnect our lines that come in to feed the power to the exhaust. Even though I did turn off the power supply from the breakers, I do have my non-contact voltage detector, and I'm going to basically just check to make sure that we don't have power. I'm going to reapply power coming in from the breaker. So again, I have my voltage detector, and you can see here, this tells me that I do have power. I did turn the breaker off, and now you can see I do not have power. Push our vent holes off to the side. Now we're just going to remove the ground wire. So here I removed the old exhaust assembly. Just want to show you a few things. I mean, it's really corroded, rusted. Obviously, you can see here where it's supposed to be exhausting, it's actually stuck in the closed position. When your fan turns on, it's supposed to allow everything to exhaust properly, and it has nowhere to exhaust. So you can see this is probably what's causing all the lint to get trapped, and once the motor heated up, even when you stick your hand in here, you can see there's just a lot of, it's packed in there. Some people are going to recommend just replacing the fan motor and the blade, but sometimes it's necessary because you can't always see what is causing the problem. Even if you put a new exhaust fan, what will happen is because it's in the closed position, it won't exhaust properly. Okay, so here we open the box for the new exhaust assembly, and we kind of ran into an issue. It's not an issue, we can resolve it. There's a few options. So you can see here it secures on the left, vents to the top right. The electrical comes in here at the bottom. The new one, you can see it secures here on the left, but the electrical runs to the top right, and then it vents here out at the bottom. We went to one of the local hardware supply outlets out here, and for some reason, every single one that we looked at had the same layout. It was electrical top right, vent bottom, secure to the left. So at this point, we have a few options. We can attach to this end of the hose, run it down, bring it up, and let it secure to the bottom. But then we run to the issue of the electrical, and we'll have to rerun wire. I don't think that's effective. I think we're trying to get this as resolved as simple as possible. The other way is opening the wall. We have a stud here. We can move it all the way to the corner and secure it, and the exhaust will lay out right here in the corner. I think we have enough play to do that. It will be kind of tight, but really option number 3 is going to be the most effective and cost efficient. What I'm going to do here is we'll leave the exhaust vent hose connecting to the top. We'll have the electrical coming out at the bottom. And what we'll do is we'll remove the front panel and just secure it here at the back, right against the stud. Obviously, you want to make sure if there's any water or electrical coming in, not to pinch it. So we're just going to secure it that way. It's the most cost effective at this point. To remove the front plate, you have clips here on the top. You have a clip here right on the bottom. You're just kind of using a screwdriver and popping it right out. I'm going to remove the electrical, just pull up, and it kind of slides right out. Here I have a piece of duct tape. I'm going to wrap it right around the back of the hose, and then when I take my new exhaust assembly housing, I'm going to slide it up, and then I'll wrap the duct tape around and secure it. This is really light when the motor's out of it, so it should hold enough just for me to put screws on the side to secure it. When I'm doing this, I'm going to have to work in my power supply coming in. So we'll kind of have to work this at the same time while we're securing the top. See here, I got my electrical sitting in, and I also have my hose connecting to my clip. I'll just go ahead and make sure that it opens and closes. I'm gonna take my drill, I'm gonna take a self-tapper, kind of get right here in the corner, give me enough so I can get it right into the stud. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna take a long screwdriver and push these lines to the back, just to make sure I don't pinch it. Here we just want to level it, make sure it's nice and straight. Now we're going to put in our power supply and connect our incoming lines. Make sure your wire nuts are nice and tight. Just make sure you put it back in the clip and push it all the way down so that it secures on both sides. Now we're going to slide in our face. Once you finish, we'll plug in our power supply. And we'll turn the breaker back on, make sure everything is working properly. Here we put the power back on. You can see it's working nice and quietly. It's nice and level. Obviously, the only thing at this point is getting the drywall repair done. If this video was a help, if it was informational, please subscribe.